seconds.
Wow.
What a hand to come back to.
Patrick Leonard runs to the bathroom, comes back just in time to find pocket aces.
Low black.
Maybe this will look a little bit like a tilt raise because nobody waited for him as he went to relieve himself.
Just have fucking
And here we go. Leonard
Identify as metal.
opening things up, making it 135. And Reem finds tens.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
we got a big clash on our hands potentially here.
This is just an absolute setup.
Oh, and Reem shoves over the top. Quite a few more players to get through.
Oh!
And kings for Laskowitz. Wow. Absolute monster clash right here at the Event 2 final table of the PGT kickoff. Leonard with the raise, Reem with the quick jam, and now Laskowitz with pocket kings
1-1.
salivating at the idea of getting his money in here and perhaps sending Reem to the rail. But little does he know, Leonard actually with the goods here.
I mean, this hand is wild in and of itself, aces, kings, and tens, but then you have the whole bathroom thing coming into play. I mean, good lord.
I mean, someone's about to be able to take a really long bathroom break because we're going to see some bloodshed in this hand.
Time extension.
Natalie Ferguson, a happy spectator of what might become a three-way all-in.
On.
And there we go. The shove from Laskowitz. 110 dead there as... oh, and two tens dead.
I need a 10.
And Leonard with a snap call. No tens left in the deck for Chino Reem. Laskowitz looking for a king.
Maybe this will be your first one.
Yeah, I have not won an 80-20 in here, so that would be good.
I would really, really appreciate it if you please put up the 10 of diamonds or the 10 of spades.
What if they put an ace or a king?
Without those.
Okay.
We're asking for a lot here. But
Patrick Leonard
you never know.
with a chance to triple up. And his odds are very good right now. 3.3 million in the middle. The biggest pot of the day so far.
I kind of do feel.
Here comes the flop.
10 of diamonds.
Jack 5-9.
Almost.
Some
if you put
backdoor
another four-side diamond,
possibilities here,
we're there.
but no tens available to Chino Reem.
We're just there.
Laskowitz
Four-side diamond is 100%. Ready?
looking for
Boom.
a king.
Oh my God, four-side again. If you put another four-sider, it's like 50-50.
The only card that can ruin Leonard's party right now is one of the two remaining kings.
luck,
It's
guys.
not there. Patrick Leonard with the massive triple up.
Okay. All in.
Wiseman applying that pressure with the big stack, and Leonard finds ace-queen offsuit.
Count. Sorry. I gotta count for a second. Can you stack your chips, Joey? Do you know how much you have? Joey.
Donnie, explain what Leonard is doing here.
I started the hand with 2.3
2.3.
before the ante.
So he's
2.3.
in second place right now, right? Obviously has a good hand in the ace-queen, but does he want to put this at risk? He's getting an eye on all of the other stacks just to kind of calculate the ICM in his head, see if it's worth the gamble, and he does ultimately go with this.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Okay.
Cover.
Joseph Chong finds jacks.
2.5.
2.5.
What is going on here? And can Chong get away from this? Should he want to get away from this?
This is the 6th spot. I mean, I know obviously everyone has gotten a bit more shallow, but it's...
Wow, the call is made, and we have 7.5 million chips in the middle. Aram Zobian will be laughing on the sidelines as the rest of the table has their chips in the middle. Joey Wiseman, the covering stack. Chong and Leonard all very close together.
2.35, so
7.5 million chips up for grabs.
Side pot, I guess.
Leonard has Chong covered by just a little bit.
You want me to push forward or?
Unbelievable clash
Do
here.
you want to do that? I'm happy.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Can't fault Chong for
That's a
going
good
with
list.
it. Jax is just
you?
very, very good in that spot.
You
I
cover
mean,
it.
just what an absolute clash of
Just, yeah.
hands this is.
All right, here comes the flop. The most important flop of this final table, and it brings King, King 5, 2 spades. Chong's jacks well out in
I beat
front.
Ausmus twice yesterday.
Comes running 8s.
Weissman not looking good at all. You guys can see it on the screen. Less than 1%.
Chong has believed in his success today after busting Jeremy Ausmus twice last night. And the deuce on the turn keeps him safe. Leonard in search of an ace or a queen. Now Leonard does have more chips than Chong and is also ahead of Weissman. So we might not even see an
Jeremy.
elimination here. The river is the 3 of spades, and Chong triples up to 6.8 million. Leonard is left with 600K, and Weissman clipped, and now sitting on 2.8 million. What an absolute monster hand here.
All in.
All in.
Weissman jamming from the button, and Leonard
Ooh.
finds Queen Jack of spades. Is this within the realm of hands?
Yeah, what, 6.3 bigs?
10 seconds.
I think it's good enough here to get your money in.
Time extension.
Leonard doing
10
some
seconds.
studying of the other stacks, perhaps?
Yeah, just-
Short by a margin, though.
I mean, he knows he's the short stack, yes, and then it's,
Time extension.
you know, how much shorter is everyone else? Most notably, Aram Zobian. Where's he at in chips?
And there he goes. Leonard commits his final chips, and he will be in a dead even coin flip situation. Queen Jack versus sevens.
That was queens for a second.
That'd be outrageous.
You trying to get him to overcall?
Yeah.
2.2 million up for grabs. If Leonard wins this one, we got a really even match on our hands. Weissman probably getting sick and tired of doubling people up.
In a queen?
You want me to say the window?
All right, here comes the
I
flop.
had a check.
Jack 10-10.
It's a pretty sick window.
Great flop
Nice
for Leonard, both a pair and also some backdoor potential in case he needs it. But of course, we can all see that Weissman is just looking for a 7 to improve here. Deuce of diamonds is not going to do it. Leonard has to fade just 2 cards to get himself right back in this thing, and the swings will continue at this PGT Kickoff final table. All right, let's see the river card. It's the 9 of diamonds, and Leonard will receive a full
That's
double
some
up.
lucky chips.
Yes.
You blink twice, and you go from 600K to 2.2 million, and all of a sudden, it's a fair fight again.
There's the jam. And Leonard with the quick call. Ace,
Oh.
king, dominating.
You can tell by the look on Weissman's face
Add to that Jeremy energy going.
that he is thoroughly frustrated with the way things have played out. Weissman came into today as chip leader, has been at or near the top for the duration of this final table, but all of a sudden,
The guy
things
could
can
double
turn.
First place money in buy-ins every Sunday.
He was involved in that massive 3-way all-in, which landed Chong the chip lead, and now,
In yen. Yeah.
fresh after doubling up Leonard, he will now take a stab of sending him to the rail, but he is not out of the woods just yet, because Leonard has to deal with the fact that Weissman just flopped himself an open-ended straight draw. Leonard with the prepay, getting those chips ready. Turn card is the 10 of diamonds.
Diamond.
Mm-hmm. was thinking I'm never dead on turn.
One of those
so
graphics on the
that's a
screen, we're
shot
missing a
out.
card here, and there it is. Slightly out of order, but it remains the same here. Wiseman with 8 outs, looking for a 9, 8, or 4 to survive, or else he will be eliminated. And it is the 7 of hearts on the river. Joey Wiseman from chip leader to 4th place.
There's 300.
Leonard with the min raise. Chong finds a good one in the big blind.
10 seconds.
Jack 8-5 might inspire some confidence from Leonard here to continue with the open-ended straight draw. Chong 2 overs.
$2.25.
There is the continue right around quarter pot. Chong's going to come around, and he better hope a queen doesn't peel off.
Exactly. Instead, it's the ace of clubs. Chong now with a gut shot as well. Now, Donnie, do you think Leonard will often continue here as the ace pops up and him perhaps having the range advantage to have an ace?
I think he can go both ways. I think he could represent this ace, maybe not necessarily with his holding. He might just want to check back and try and realize that equity, but he's not going to do that, doesn't look like.
$8.75.
875 is what Leonard comes with, continuing on the turn here. And look at this, Chong with just king high makes the call. The question now is, if the river is a blank, is Leonard going to try and find a 3rd bullet here? River brings that blank. It's the deuce of hearts. Interesting situation now for both players.
Check.
Chong with the check. Is Leonard going to give up, Donnie, or will the prospect of losing for sure if he doesn't bet be enough motivation for him to fire again?
I mean, left with 10 high here, you have no diamonds, unblocking those. I think Leonard could find it.
10 seconds.
I mean, I could also see a world where he does give up, yes, but I think ultimately he might lean to find this one. I will say, if anyone's able to find the bluffs, I'm confident Patrick Leonard can.
Leonard in the tank, 3 million in the middle. He's got a pot-sized bet left in front of him. Here we go. Looks like 2.3 million. And Chong, not with the snap fold. We're seeing some geniuses at work here. If Joseph Chong can sniff this one out,
2.4.
this will end up on a list somewhere of one of the best hands of 2025. The bet now confirmed, 2.4 million. And Chong does decide to release. Patrick Leonard gets it through, and for the first time at this final table, the Brit now holds the chip lead.
Checks his option. Here we go.
3-3-5, 2 spades on board. Do you have to totally sort of recenter yourself when you slow play a hand like ace-king and you don't flop something strong? Or do you still sort of pretend in your mind that your hand is very strong?
I mean, it's all relative to the situation. You're 3-handed, so, you know, hands start to go up in value. An ace-king high on a paired flop like this is probably fairly valuable.
Okay.
I know you don't have spades and your opponent can connect with that, but I think your opponent is also going to have some bluffs in there, hands like Leonard has, like the the cards that are like 6 through Jack, like those sort of combinations, which don't really have any high card value and then are just going to be hands that you want to start bluffing with. Obviously, Leonard pairs up on the turn with that 6, so just checks it back and going to try and, you know, get to a showdown here. I mean, Chong could probably pretty much call a bet here, you know, depending on the sizing, of course. That looks like it might be some big sizing, huh?
10 seconds.
Million out there.
1 million.
Million is the bet. Chong, of course, doesn't often use time extensions. We've mentioned that before, and there goes one of them in, so I don't think that this is simply posturing out of him. I think he's generally contemplating making a call here. Trying to figure out what sorts of hands that Leonard could have. You know, he could have hands that check back like a flush draw on the turn.
Wow, and Chong calls it off with ace-king. Leonard tables 10-6 and rakes in a very big one.
Queen 7 suited from the small. Chong could find this one as a shove. There it is. Oh, that's close. Probably going to be a call.
1.525.
And if he does find the call, does Leonard, then bad news for Chong, and there it is.
Patrick Leonard calls it off, and Joseph Chong finds himself in a world of trouble looking for a 7 or diamonds to survive here, or else Leonard will be heads up against Aram Zobian.
Where are you?
Leonard has not yet won a PGT event, but right now he is rapidly closing in on one. Joseph Chong looking for some help. Is it going to be there? Well, not on the flop. Ace-8 for 2 spades, leaving Chong longing for a 7. Joseph Chong, 19.3 million in career tournament earnings. He's going to add a few thousand to it, but he'd love to remain in this event, and the 3 of spades on the turn is not going to make a difference. Chong needing a 7 and a 7 only, or else we'll be down to heads-up play. The river card is the 9 of clubs, and Joseph Chong departs, collecting $57,600, and we are heads up between Aram Zobian and Patrick Leonard. Players bringing a good amount of swag to this table. I know it's not Nick Schulman, but still.
I do note the chip stacks. Leonard did start this heads-up match with 9 million, so it's been entirely Aram Zobian so far.
Ten, 4, 6, all clubs. Leonard flopping 2 pair. Zobian open-ended. Wow. We're getting some hands right away. $200 from Leonard to get things going here on the flop.
Yeah, tricky part here for Zobian will be, of course, the fact that there's 3 clubs out there. So, you know, normally you're looking at those 8 outs. Well, here you really only feel good about 6 of them. I mean, still heads up. It's enough to continue, yes, but just worth pointing out that it's not necessarily clean, at least in the mind of Aram Zobian.
3 of diamonds on the turn. Zobian adds a pair to his open-ended straight draw. No presence of any clubs with either player, or clovers, if you will, which was coined yesterday by Andrew Lichtenberger. Leonard still well out in front here with top 2. Reaching again for the big pile. That's getting smaller now. A slight overbet here coming.
1.25.
1.25 is the bet from Leonard. Again, charging a hefty price for Zobian to see the river card.
And do note that as another overbet, Aram knows that the last hand he overbet and it was a bluff.
Right.
Because they went to showdown. Right. He didn't fire the river. It went check, check.
10 seconds.
So he saw that, you know, on the turn, I mean, it's stepping bluffing, yes, but bluff nonetheless. So that can kind of play some mind games here with Zobian, thinking like, well, if he did it as a bluff, is it now value, or is it a bluff? You know, I mean, so it's tricky.
If we specifically look at Zobian's hand, Donnie, is he supposed to continue here at this price? Is there enough in Leonard's range that he can still make money off of? And, you know, I guess Zobian feels like that's the case.
And I think he can be continuing, you know, still on plenty of semi-bluffs here, Leonard. And also, like, Zobian does have some equity in, like, the form of hitting a straight. He did pick up that 3 on the turn, so.
8 of diamonds completes the board. Leonard gets the check mark. 3.5 million in the middle.
I think we're going to see all of it.
Would that be a power
See,
jam?
I don't necessarily think that this qualifies as a power jam because it's basically a pot-sized shove. I mean,
And Leonard moves all in.
Time extension.
Zobian, with 3.6 million left behind, looks down at a pair of 3s. Stacks those chips down, verifies his own count. We are playing heads up, but still just a pair of 3s. What kind of bluffs could Leonard have here? That's the question he's asking himself.
something with the ace of clubs in it, you know, that you started off limping the button with, not necessarily needing to raise here, as you see often in heads-up play, a lot of limping in position. If he were to have a hand like, let's say, 7-8 with a club, you know, a double gutter with that flush draw, is he now going to barrel all in on the river when he picks up the 8 as showdown value? Probably not.
10 seconds.
If anyone is capable of a sick, disgusting bluff, it is Patrick Leonard, but we, the spectators, can all see that this time he has the goods, but that's probably going through Zobian's head right now.
Haven't really seen Zobian be... Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
he tosses it in, and it is all over. Patrick Leonard tabling 10-6, and Aram Zobian makes the hero call with 5-3, and that turns out to be fatal. Patrick Leonard wins his first live poker tournament since June of 2022, and he does it in epic fashion. Well done, Mr. Pads. Well done indeed.